Trinity Baptist Church. I've been reading in my personal devotions the Gospel of Mark lately. In fact, tomorrow I'll be in the last chapter, Mark 16. But I would like to go to Mark 14. I was reading this last week, and Jesus' prayer in Mark 14 really strikes me as relevant for us. In some ways, as our Lord, Jesus is totally unlike us. He saves, we don't save. He rules, we don't rule or reign. But in some ways, because he's our Lord, we're trying to be just like him, to love like he taught us to love, to forgive like he taught us to forgive, these different ways in which we want to be like our Lord. And one of them, I think, is learning to pray like he does in Mark 14. Jesus knows that his hour has come, and yet he does not look forward to the cross. And so he prays in Mark 14:36, Abba, Father, all things are possible for you. Remove this cup from me. Yet not what I will, but what you will. And of course, we see that the Father does not will to take away this cup from Jesus, but instead he drinks it to the bottom. He dies for the sins of the world, and he does rise from the dead. Oddly, I think this can encourage us to know that even Jesus, when he prayed, God, it's my will that you would remove this cup from me. God didn't answer it by saying, yes, okay, whatever you want. But Jesus knew that, and he had the wisdom to pray, God, all things are possible for you. Please remove this cup from me, and yet, not what I will, but what you will. And I think that's the thing we need to learn to pray, and that's something we may well need to learn to pray this year. It's August now. We are well into the last half of this year. We're almost into the last third of this year. We will be next month. And yet we're still trying to wrap our minds around what this year is and what will the coming, school year look like and all these things. And perhaps one of the most timely prayers for us is this prayer our Lord prayed. To learn to earnestly pray, God, we want you to remove this cup from us. We don't want to lose this or this or this. We don't want to have to do this or that or the other thing. But to also pray, yet not what I will, but what you will. And like Jesus, once we have prayed this, to move forward and be grateful for whatever God's will is, knowing that he will bring great things out of it. Not only like Jesus, but for us today through Jesus, our Lord, who will walk with us through whatever God has put before us.